Welcome everyone to Dad Life Chess and our very first YouTube chess video. My name is Joel. My brother-in-law Luke and I decided to start out this YouTube channel, and our purpose really is for our own personal growth in chess. Both of us are admittingly recently recovering blitz and bullet addicts, and this year we wanted to try and play some slower games. Our goal is to play a game, maybe a game 10 or something like that, a rapid game, and after the game go over it without the computer, and then flip on the computer and hopefully learn from mistakes and see where we deviated from maybe the best moves. And the goal is to improve. So thank you for joining us. I know that this is a new experience for us, so any of your suggestions, your helpful and criticisms would be appreciated. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and try and get a game started here. I'm going to try and get a game 10 here on chess.com, a 10-minute game. And hopefully we can get a game started pretty soon. But this is a new experience. I wanted to try and play some games that would maybe have some educational value here. So it looks like we do have a game. I'm going to go ahead and play white here against Magician 45 Real. So we'll see how this goes. See if our opponent wants to play. All right, plays non-committal, very common move against d4. I'm going to play my beloved London system. I love the London system. It seems to get me out of the opening without a lot of theory. Now this is an interesting move, bishop d6. Against this, I like to take immediately, and see he's taking with the queen. Right now, actually, I can play queen g4, and of course I'm attacking his pawn here, but it makes it very difficult for black to kind of develop. So this is a line, yeah, that's a very common line. And then I'm just simply going to develop my knight, castle queenside, and hopefully I'll keep some pressure on the king side. Now that's a unique move. I don't see that very often, but I'm just simply going to see if my opponent wants to make some more weaknesses. Obviously that you can't do because I can take there. Already, I'm not absolutely hating my position. My opponent has made some long-term weaknesses on the king side. I'm not entirely sure that I want to voluntarily trade my queen, although admittedly I am a proponent of old man chess. Why am I doing that? I oftentimes will go for the queen trade, but my opponent's going to have a little more difficult time, I think, getting his pieces properly developed, and I just don't want to get my queen stuck here on the king side. So okay, so he's going out all out basically on the queen side, saying we're gonna get something here. I'm simply going to develop, maybe place my knight. So okay, now he's just pushing down the board. I'm going to go ahead and stop that pawn from advancing all the way. I'm not convinced in my opponent's attack right off the bat, playing very aggressively, but perhaps it'll work out for my opponent. Okay, so I like the idea of getting the rest of my pieces into action. I'm just going to play bishop d3 and see what my opponent wants to do. I actually kind of almost made a mistake. I think my opponent could have gone here, which would have forced me to maybe take with the bishop. I could have taken with the bishop, so that's not the end of the world. Okay, I don't mind now I don't know what my opponent is doing now, because his king is kind of stuck in the center, and I have ideas of just trying to push here, maybe break in the center. Kind of curious what my opponent's going to do. My queen is on the dark squares, so neither one of us have a dark square bishop. I'm not too worried about any kind of odd attack, although my queen kind of feels out of place here. I want to give my queen a little more room. All right, my opponent is thinking a little bit. My opponent has been playing rather quickly. See, this is a little awkward for this knight. It's hard for this knight to develop now because obviously I could take there. Yeah, I was kind of expecting something like this. However, I think I can just play here. And I already have ideas of this. Now, if he castles, my opponent castles, then I'm okay with that. Oh, wow, that's wild. My opponent is really, really going all out here. Does that work? Does that work? It seems scary. Seems scary enough. Just feel like takes. Can't let him take. It take. Queen takes. I think I have to take there. All right. My opponent can't take there because I have this. Can't take there. Wow. 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 That's very crazy. I'm not entirely convinced of my position. This is not looking good for me. Not a good start to my YouTube career here. Magician 45 Real is playing really well. See, if he goes here, I have to kind of block this way. I'm kind of curious. I don't know how to get out of this. The opponent is thinking. Maybe that's good for me. Takes, I take back. I would appreciate if my opponent took, but I don't know if my opponent will. Doesn't seem like that. This pawn storm, no pun intended, kind of took me by storm. Now I'm kind of curious if I'm going to be able to get out of this. This is educational because I feel like that pawn storm was premature, but this is typical for my style of play, and maybe where I'm at in my chess learning. I'm oftentimes kind of almost scared by these attacks, and sometimes the best moves are some quiet moves. So okay, so my opponent plays there. That is okay, I suppose. I want to see if I can break through somehow. I need to find a way to break through. Just gonna go here and see. Goes here, I'll take probably. This is not looking good. I could have taken. I should have taken, actually. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna take here. My idea. Okay, so my opponent goes there. I think might be able to run here. Takes. Just take there. Let's see if I can get this stuff going on here. Like, obviously, if he takes with the queen, I'm gonna move my king. Okay, yeah. So he does that. So can I just go here and then here? What am I missing? What am I missing? This seems so dangerous. This seems so dangerous, but I have this open file. Now, his king's stuck in the center, so I'm kind of curious to see what happens from this point. He has a lack of firepower, so to speak, and I might be able to utilize this open file now, because now he can't take there. I mean, he can't push because I can just take. I'm on this. It looked a lot more dangerous than it actually is, I think. I think I'm getting out of this okay, unless my opponent is seeing something that I'm not. Like, for instance, even moves like this, I can just take here, and then this is falling. I don't know. This is interesting. This knight on b3 is earning its wage, I'll tell you that. So, like, I'm thinking now if my opponent castles, I just have a permanent target, because now I can play rook a1, exchange those rooks, and then get into the 7th rank. I really feel like I'm coming here. Interesting. So he does castle. He's got a hard time developing all these pieces, and I want to see if I have a better move, because now there's there's these threats, but he's got so much firepower around my king. I just want to eliminate that right now, and so I'm going to gladly exchange off some of these pieces here. So my opponent has had some long thinks. I find that I like that about chess.com, and I think most sites do put the timestamp on there. That's one thing I've learned is I sometimes get in this blitz mode where I'm so used to playing 3-0 or something like that, and I'm looking at my, ooh, that's interesting. Can't I just, hold on a second, let's calculate. Takes, check, I'm gonna take here, I'm on the queen, and I have checks coming. I have check here. Oh, this does not, that does not, oh, bishop, ding, ding, ding. That's a thing. That's a move. Didn't even think of that. So he's got this here. But can I just push here? I feel like getting this guy in. I feel like getting this guy in here. But my queen also kind of needs to somehow find a way to penetrate into the position. I can't believe I just completely my oversight was that he had to take with the knight, and that's another example of me just playing so fast, not thinking. Okay. So opponent maybe just wants to go here, but that isn't like the end of the world ish. This is an open file. I'm taking that file, and we're gonna see what happens. He still can't develop his, yeah, that's what I kind of felt like he was doing, but I mean, look at this, I just need to get my queen here. So how can I get my queen into this position somehow? Can I just go here? Try to save everything? And then here? What's my opponent gonna do? What's my opponent gonna do? I'm trying to think of a way to penetrate with my queen. Well, actually, now, weirdly, I can come back here and come over here. That's not the worst idea in the world, actually. Then I can play up here. A lot of different things. And again, this knight is kind of my saving grace, because that knight is keeping my opponent from developing his yeah, see, that's an issue right there. I feel like I can just take that, can't I? Kind of. Well, not really. I don't really have to. All right, what do we do here? What do we do? I takes. My opponent takes. They can't take because he's no longer pinned. I'm just going to take. What you going to do? What is my opponent going to do? Now I have this, you know? Okay, okay, I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you. Yeah, I do. What about this? Takes. Oh, that's too dangerous. That's too dangerous. Okay, so what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? That's an issue. Okay. Can we go here? Can we go here? I'm on this. He pushes, I take. If he pushes, I take. Saves the knight. Okay, we're both getting low on time. Interesting. Okay. He goes there. I can go here, right? Let's try this. Let's go here. I'm still on this. I'm still in check. This is starting to look good for me. I'll be honest with you. I'm starting to feel like this is not the worst thing in the world. Starting to look good. Okay, so how do I convert this? Where's my move? Where is my move? These queen middle games are quite difficult to navigate at times. I feel like this is a move. Here, check. Oops. Check. I go here. Interesting. Oh, hey, my opponent gave me that. Okay. 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 Let's just cement this here. Okay. Okay. Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay. All right. Goes here. That's kind of like mate. No. All right. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go here. This is getting kind of scary, not gonna lie. Okay, let's go here. Let's go here. Oh, snaps. Takes. Interesting. Missed it. Okay. Don't want to let him in there. Okay, let's just not allow that. Oh, we're just gonna have to do this. The technique's probably horrible, but you know, it is what it is. Let's go here. I feel like I can flag this guy. Okay. Well, let's see. Oh, don't. Okay. Wow. Wow, that was quite a game. Whew. All right. Well, let's see. That end game was some pretty horrific technique, and I think there was some quite a few mistakes. So let's go ahead and go back from the game here and see how we did. It said a chaotic game where both players had many chances to win. So that was fun. All right, let's pull up this game here, and we'll start from the beginning. I'm going to do myself a favor here, and let's see here if I can. Let's see if I can open up there. We'll come back here. Okay. I have the analysis on a different page, but without the computer on, I'm going to go ahead and go through this game. Okay, so basically from this point, these are your standard opening moves. This opening right here is this early bishop d6. I think it's probably best for black actually to take with the c pawn, and then you play something like this, and then you have this, and then you're basically fighting against these two bishops. My bishop was technically good, his bishop is bad, but it's a game. Now with this, by playing the early queen g4 and then g6, which is standard move, knight d2, I'm almost trying to remember the theory on here. I think it might be better just to play knight c3 here. You have ideas of this, you have ideas with this, and you're stopping this idea of this check, so because you can just simply castle. That's the reason why you want to put a knight to block the check. So I'm thinking knight d2 might have been an inaccuracy. Now f5 was a little bit surprising from my opponent. I felt like it made some long-term positional weaknesses. So I played queen g5. Simply kind of menacing his development. Obviously can't play here, so my opponent tries for an exchange of queens. Wasn't really for it. Kind of glad I didn't. As the game progressed, I was able to put a little more pressure. You're always told, you know, the one that has the most space, or the one that's attacking, should be reluctant to exchange off pieces. So anyway, the game continued. Knight f6, castles queenside, and then here my opponent like really just goes all out and begins attacking me. I wasn't at all worried about a5, so I'm simply gonna develop. Then he plays a4. At this point I'm like, okay, stop the brakes. What's happening? I need to do something. I don't want something like this to happen, where I'd basically play a move like this, and I'm going here, he goes here, and then he's like coming in these dark squares and checkmating me. So I was I was like, okay, I probably should do something to stop it. So by playing a3, obviously gives him a target, gives him something a wedge basically to attack, and that's what my opponent did. So, and going back to principled chess, my opponent basically was attacking with pawns and pawns alone, and kind of neglected the rest of his development. So my opponent's pieces kind of were just you know, bystanders in necessarily. But anyway, plays b5. I play knight e4. I'm sorry, knight e5. This move, I think, was critical to kind of hamper the development of his b8 knight. Attacks my queen. Simply play queen f3. There might have been a better square for this queen. in hindsight, but where? Like here, obviously can't go there. I can't go there. I was thinking maybe obviously can't go there. I guess it's really here, and this is kind of in that the bishop's kind of bearing down. So maybe queen f3 was the best. And then here he played b4. At this point, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I got to take this attack seriously. What is going to happen? I didn't want to allow, takes and then takes back with the queen, and then everything's all discombobulated. He still has the pawn going on here. So I said, okay, we'll take here. We're going to take this, and I'm going to play g4. I am looking forward to what the computer has to say, because I feel like I misplayed these next couple moves like drastically. I'm expecting the double question mark on chess.com telling me that this was definitely a bad move, because I just don't think this was the right idea. Obviously, if he takes, I have things like this, but even then, like, what's happening? I mean, I have he's guarding there. I mean, like, it looks scary, but is it really? Is there anything here? I don't see it. Perhaps I'll look and see. This knight stops the checks here. And then he's still bearing, my opponent's still bearing down with the pawn. So yeah, I feel like g4 was a mistake. Now my opponent pushes forward with a3. Definitely don't want this, because that would make a very quick YouTube video right there. So I didn't want that. I played knight b3. It was kind of my defensive technique. I was thinking if he takes here, I take here, and then of course I have that same idea. Well, my opponent leaves the pawn, which probably was wise, and then I take. I don't think this was best. I think I should have taken back the same way. I should have just taken the a pawn, but thankfully my opponent kind of obliges me and takes back with the knight. I take back with the bishop, and I was thinking if my opponent did this, I could run somewhere over here. Obviously, these are that's kind of annoying, so I'd have to kind of run back here. That probably was my opponent's best choice, but my opponent took with the rook. Now, this gave me the idea, okay, let's activate that king, bring that king into danger. But there's really no other pieces that my opponent can bring into the attack right away, which helped me be able to coordinate my pieces and exchange a few off. Here is a good example of me just playing automatically, not even thinking. I was like, oh, he's got to take here, and then I have this, and everything's dropping, and the whole 9 yards. And then as soon as I take, I'm not sure, I have to look back, but I'm pretty sure my opponent like pre-moved bishop takes h6, and I was like, oh, I guess that's a legal move. So it's a good example of asking yourself. I remember Dan Heisman used to always say, when I used to read a few of his books, and he'd say, look for your opponent's checks, captures, and threats. Checks, captures, and threats. And I think if I would have asked myself, what is my opponent capture, or what is my opponent's captures, in this situation, and so anyway, he took with the bishop. It's not the end of the world, because I'm still able to get my knight over here, rook a1. Play bishop c4. Obviously don't want this to happen, because that's ouchtown. I was like, go ahead, take my knight, so I play rook a3. I'm trying to defend. I want to take back with my rook. Again, see this knight, if this knight was developed anywhere, rook's coming in, there's a lot more of a threat. Well, thankfully, because my opponent was gracious enough not to develop all of their pieces, I was able to somehow get out of this somewhat dangerous situation. For a human, it felt dangerous, I should say. So d takes. I'm not sure if it's accurate to take. See, as the old adage says, take is a mistake. So I'm not sure if I should have just left it, but my opponent takes. I think all these like capturing probably were not the best choice. It really gave me, by my opponent doing this, it really gave me a lot of breathing room. So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, now I gotta. We were both low on time. I think we both had about 2 minutes or so at this point, and we didn't. I'm trying to. So at this point, okay, so I felt like, okay, I felt like right here, I was like, okay, I think if my opponent is going to try for another check, here I am attacking the queen. I'm also, remember, double attacking the pawn here. And at this point, I wasn't really aware of like the material difference. My opponent was really low on time, so I was trying to stay up on time, and hopefully my passed c pawn would win the game. Didn't exactly go like that. I think the last few moves were absolute chaos because we were both low on time. This was just me kind of a desperate move. I was like, I have discovered checks, you know, I can play here or something like that. I don't know what I was thinking. My opponent captured, which in hindsight, perhaps I'm thinking here, connected past pawns. Joel, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? Or are you thinking? That's a question. And I'm pretty sure these 2 pawns can stop those 3 before we castle. Huh? I think that would have been a better point. So my opponent plays rook e8. I play f4, and then of course he's trying to create a pass pawn, which my opponent did well. I want to activate. I activate my rook, get my rook into my opponent's position, and this right here was just boom. That's a rough night, and that's just running. Yeah, that was as soon as I played there, I was thinking, oh wait, what am I thinking? No, just kidding, JK. Wow. Yeah. So just to see if you are awake over there, whoever's watching this video, it's legal to take back with the rook. You may not know that, but it is. Yeah, definitely missed that. Okay, well, wow, I'm missing all sorts of things. Yeah, definitely wouldn't want to take back with the pawn because that would be an ugly game. But here, that's not as bad because even this type of stuff, if he goes, oh, what? Hold on. He goes here. Interesting. Does that work? Ah, this is fascinating. Can I get over there? Oh, look at that move. Look at that move. I want to check if the computer says that because that was pretty. That was pretty. Okay. So, already exposing my ignorance. That wasn't as much of a blunder as I thought it was. My opponent plays rook d8. I don't know why I was worried about this move. So obviously I take back here. I'm thinking my opponent, I should have just played. I don't know why I was just going on a checking storm. In fairness, I'm going to go ahead and play through these last few moves with not a lot of authority because it was just madness, and I was just trying to at this point flag my opponent, and I'm up tons of pawns. I'm pretty sure I could have won this game. I dropped this pawn somewhere. I blundered the pawn here. Yeah, he could have just taken that pawn. But we both were down to seconds. And right here, my opponent flags. So, I mean, it technically is a winning position. Not the greatest technique in the end game. But I'm thankful. The one thing I'm thankful for this game, and one thing that I learned, is perhaps it teaches you something. Develop your pieces, castle, connect your rooks, you know, basics of chess. But by my opponent attacking prematurely, I think really gave me an opportunity in this game to get the win. So, all right, let's go ahead and throw on the evaluation bar here, and we'll go through the game. I have the lines, Stockfish lines here on chess.com. So I'm just going to go ahead, and we're kind of just looking at that evaluation bar. I think it's kind of a helpful tool to see where these big jumps are. Okay, so Stockfish, whoever that is, whatever Stockfish knows, suggests knight c3, but so maybe my knight d2 is a little more passive. So F5. Stockfish did not like that as much, giving me a little bit better advantage here. I'm going to do something real quick. I'm going to change this to 2 lines because it seemed like it was taking too much of my computer energy there. I'm doing this on a little bit of an older laptop, but it's doing the trick. Okay, so all right, A5, the computer says that was a little bit of an inaccuracy. Interesting. Stockfish is just recommending H4. It's like, if you play A5, I'm playing H4, buddy. I'm coming in there. So that might have been my better recourse. So I played knight GF3, and Stockfish so A3 was the best move in this position. Then Stockfish is just again recommending like C5. I mean, if you're gonna go all out, right? So I play bishop D3, B5. It's still saying that right here. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Kind of knew about this idea. C3. Stockfish is recommending C3 or again H4. Don't be scared. Harry, throw in the H pawn. That way, if here, but I the idea of C3 here kind of just stops. What's the black gonna do? You know what I mean? That really puts the brakes on that pawn storm. Interesting. Very interesting. So game continues here. Queen F3. Stockfish recommended move. B5. Interesting. Knight B1. I did not see that. So my allowing this move, Queen F3, B4. That was there. It actually gives. I mean, really, B4 is a strong move. It really is. Black starting to get yeah, at least even. Right here actually gives black the advantage, a slight advantage. So knight B1, simply saying, hey, you want to take? My knight's just going to be, you know, on the side of the board, basically holding everything together. Interesting. So queen B4, I play, yeah, yep, see? Look at that, look at that, look at that evaluation bar. Look at this evaluation bar. Here you are. I thought G4 was a mistake. And right here, my opponent plays accurately, plays A3. I have to play knight B3 unless I want to lose and go home. And A2, I see. I'm telling you, that would have been. This was what really would have cramped me. That's why I feel like I had to. Then look at this position. I mean, it's gonna be a long time before I'm able to attack this pawn. It's already giving black a very comfortable advantage. Black is in the driver's seat. This is what I did not need. So yeah, my opponent missed a great opportunity there by playing A2, and so I played G takes again. I again pushed the pawn. My opponent missed that. Takes here. I take back. My opponent. Whoa, Stockfish. Stockfish. You tricky Stockfish. That would have been an interesting move. Never would have seen that. Never would have thought of that. But that's a great move. So my opponent takes back. I rook takes. At this point, it looks even. It says it's a dead even. So the best move in this position was queen takes. I'm curious. King D2, queen B4. I play king E2. What does this look like? Tell me that's a move. That does not look like fun. This is not the kind of position you want to play. This is not the kind of position. Everything's working well for black. I would not have liked this. My opponent, by playing rook A3, rook takes A3. Really allowed me. Yeah, see, Stockfish is recommending King B2. King B2. Activate your king in the middle game. You heard it here first. Ooh, look at this tacticio. Oh. Wow. Wow. How did I miss that? How did I miss that? That's a good tactic right there. Stop the video and see if you can figure it out, as I already showed you. But that's wow. I did, that was a good tactic. That was a good tactic. Missed the tactic there. That's great. That's a great move. Attacking the queen, really forcing this. Takes here. Let's say king, rook f7. That's the bet recommended. Queen's here, and then I mean I'm not. That's just a thinking. I mean obviously I'm on the bishop. You know, bishop b7, queen c5. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This is good stuff. Yeah, I'm definitely winning here. Stockfish gives about a 2 to 3 pawn advantage. So rook a1, not the best move. Not the best move. Evidently there's a perpetual. I did not see this. I don't think my opponent did either. Rook takes, c takes, queen d2, king, oh, there it is. Queen a5, boom. Can't really go here. Oh, I guess you can. Opponent, Stockfish recommending f5. This is, maybe it's not. Oh, look at that. Look at that. So it still says it's a perpetual, but neither one of us saw that. So rook takes a3 at this point. Okay, so when my opponent played there, that was definitely a mistake. It allowed me takes, and I should have played queen g3. Queen g3. Rook f6. Queen g5, king g7. Like, I'm trying to see what is going on here. Bishop c8. Knight d3, attacking the queen. Queen e7. They're all Stockfish kind of moves. Gives white a serious advantage. Not gonna lie, this is not the kind of moves I would have seen. I don't know what my queen is doing out here. I guess, I mean, I'm thinking like stuff in here maybe, but at any rate, my opponent plays bishop c4, which is I play rook a1. Not the best. Bishop c4 is the recommended move. Rook a3, again recommended. My opponent plays c5 here. Now it's saying knight takes c4. Why not this? Because a check. Duh. How does that work? King. It says he. Oh, rook a7. What about here? Queen. Oh, that's tricky. That is tricky. Look at that. Look at that. CB. and disregard the rook. Just play queen f4, g5, queen d6, coming back, king h8, king h5 leads to mate in 2, rook f6. Nobody's playing rook f6 these days. So rook here, ouch. Wow. gotta love gotta love the perfect play by our Sicilian silicone, what am I trying to say, the computer friends. We'll go with that. Okay, so where were we? We played here, takes, go back, boom, takes. Here was kind of curious, what should I do? Queen d4 is actually not that bad. Queen takes, yep, e takes would have been better. So at this point, I don't know at what crazy value this is going to be, these next few moves. c4, you're both playing kind of in time scramble here. Rook b6, here we go. Rook, yeah, this is all good. Rook f6, hey, I played this decently well, I guess. Rook takes f5, here we go. Rook g5, yes, thank you. Because watch, let's see this one. I take here, he goes here, I go here, he goes here, and there it is. g4, exclam. Thank you, Stockfish. Thank you for validating my theory. So let's see what happens here. Rook g5. Oh my goodness. Y'all were probably saying the whole time, come on, Joel. Come on, Joel. Yeah. That is not a bad move. I mean, it's not it's not quite like winning a pawn, you know. I mean, that's a pawn. That's a rook. Yeah, didn't see that. Watch it. Do your tactics, kids. But I did get to check him a few extra times, so yeah, definitely missed that tactic right there. I think I was like, at this point I thought I had blundered this, and I was just kind of like frustrated with myself. And when my opponent played rook d8, I was just like trying to get out of this weird coordination with my rook and my knight. So anyway, that did not go over as well. So knight takes, and at this point, yeah, nothing. Did he just that is crazy. Like, we were in time. I drop in everything. This is great. This is very humbling for those of you that are watching this YouTube channel. So yeah, that's a move. You can take free pieces. It's totally fine. You can take free pieces. It's allowed. And that would have been better. But so yeah, we were kind of in time trouble. I shouldn't excuse myself for that, but at this point I was trying to play quickly. Again, I'm dropping pawns and everything like that, but still winning. But anyway, well, that was interesting. It was educational at a couple points, trying to stop my opponent's a kind of premature attack. I was kind of in a little more danger than I thought, but at the same time, I learned a little bit. Hopefully you did as well. Hey, thanks for watching the video. If you have any recommendations, or if you have any suggestions, or if you you saw those easy moves, feel free to let me know that you saw them before me. And that's totally fine, because I definitely missed some of those easy tactics. But specifically the knight takes c6, and really just the knight f7. So my knight moves probably could use some work. But anyway, you have a great day, have a great night, and we'll see you next time.